Guys, before we start with our today's video, I want to just make you aware that Goble Power, our friends from Goble Power, have a special offer for you. They are sending out these batteries, the SR1, the Goble Power SR1, with free shipping worldwide. And prices for these batteries are already very, very competitive. You're getting almost 15 kilowatt hours of battery storage delivered for under 2,400 US dollars. That is an incredible price for one of the best batteries out there in the market. And yours may also come with a display, actually. Now, as you know, I've converted this one here from the Pace BMS to the JK-BMS, so that's why there is no display at the moment. And when you order these batteries, you can actually select if you want the JK-BMS or if you want the Pace BMS. Both are 200 amp BMSs, both are fantastic. So 2,400 US dollars, 2,300 euros or 3,700 Australian dollars delivered for this box. Unbelievable. Okay, I'll link this all down below if you're interested in these batteries here. We've tested them. They are highly recommended here from the Off-Grid Garage. Really, really good batteries. Well, talking about the JK-BMS, this is probably why you are here in this video, right? Guys, first of all, welcome back to the Off-Grid Garage here on this beautiful sunny morning. We're expecting 31 degrees, so that's the temperature, that's not amps. 31 degrees today. I've got mild clouding there, which is perfect for my shading situation here. I've got the Bluetti charging from the powerless foldable solar panel. Takes about a week to fully charge it. Yes, and today, the amps. You want to see the amps, right? I've got 8.4 amps outside at the moment. But it is early, it is just shortly after 9 AM in the morning. So welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the greatest, biggest news about the JK-BMS ever. Probably not. Okay, as you may have seen in the community posts I did on my YouTube channel, JK has assigned a software engineer to me again, so we can work through all the issues, the problems, the challenges, the requests. And this is basically what we did in the last 1.5 to 2 weeks. And I kept you guys informed in the community tab on my YouTube channel. And I think a lot of people are very, very happy that I've got an engineer on my side again, that we can work through all these issues. And when I announced this in a post, I got over 550 likes and over 100 comments on this community post. That is insane. Thank you so much, guys, for your engagement. I really appreciate you are hooked to this story the same way as I am. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's fire up the computer. I want to show you what's going on. Okay, my friends, I am now logged in via the computer software, the JK-BMS Monitor 270 at point of time. To the JK-BMS, we can have a look under About, and we will see we've got the version 15 of the BMS here, and it is running firmware version 15.30. This is not a public firmware at the moment, we are still testing it, but from what I can see, it works flawlessly and it fixes a lot of issues. And I have connected this Yixiang battery here with the JK-BMS as a master. And this sits on address 0000. Yeah, this is the master. Then I've got two slave batteries here. The bottom one is slave number 1, this one is slave number 2. This one has address 1000 and this has 0100. Yeah, master, slave 1, slave 2. That's it. All three batteries have the 200 amp version 15 of the JK-BMS built in. And this is what we are going to test right now. JK hasn't released a version 14 with all these fixes here, but I'm pushing them to do this as well in a timely manner. So, and I've done a search here. We can see we've got 5 JK-BMSs here we can connect to. We ignore the battery 2 and battery 3. These are the BMSs in my battery shelf. And we can see the PB2A1620P BMSs. One has the 00, this is obviously our master. Then we've got a 01 down here and a 02 for slave 1 and slave 2. So you can easily identify which BMS or which battery you actually connect to with the app. Yeah, that is great. Of course, you can also rename the BMSs later on, as I have done here with my battery 2 and 3. So let me connect to this slave number 1, because this is in a better light than the Yishi Yang box. It's in a dark corner there. Let me connect to this one first. And this gives us access to the battery. We can see the voltage, all the parameters. Everything is fine. So this all looks pretty much the same as it was before. We have one new information here on this screen, which is the cell type. And it now reflects the actual chemistry you have connected or selected in the BMS. In this case, it is LFP. They had a little bit of, this will be fixed in the next firmware version. It's supposed to be called LFP, of course, not LPF. Now let's see if we go here and click on lithium ion. Yeah, and we go back into status. Yeah, it says here cell type lithium ion now. See, this is now fixed. LTO. If we go back, it says LTO now. So perfect. Apart from that, everything looks the same, right? So if you get your battery new from Goble Power, from Yishi Yang, from EEL, they all come with a JK-BMS, Inverter BMS now. You have to select your battery chemistry, of course, and set up your BMS, yeah? Or alternatively, if you want to reset your battery to factory default settings, you can also click one of these 3 buttons up here, lithium ion phosphate, or LTO batteries. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is still no confirmation necessary. If you click on one of these, it immediately activates the lithium ion profile or the lithium iron phosphate profile and overrides all your settings. This is on the list. It will be fixed in one of the next software updates as well. There will be a confirmation button if you really want to apply this battery profile. So this is in the make. It will come. But say for now your battery is new and you click on the lithium iron phosphate profile, bang, it resets everything to factory default. You can see the battery capacity has reset. This is obviously the 304 ampere hour. All the other settings are resetting to factory default. And one of the complaints was that the charge under temperature is still sitting on -20 degrees. Yeah. So, and they have changed it now. Finally, they have changed it. The charge under temperature protection sits now on 2 degrees Celsius, positive 2 degrees Celsius, and the recovery on 7 degrees Celsius. And this is the same for lithium ion. If you select the lithium ion profile or even the LTO profile, they're all sitting on positive temperatures now, not on the silly -20 anymore. So finally this is fixed, yeah. This was one of our complaints for a very long time. Finally they have done it. So the next thing they have fixed is the alarm notification. So as you may remember from my previous testing, when we have several batteries in parallel and one of them has, for example, an over temperature protection, yeah, this one battery turns off, but all the other batteries keep charging. It reports this status to the master BMS, and the master BMS requests a reduced charging current because we are one battery short. Yeah, this was all working fine, but the complaint was there is no actual notification to the user that there is an issue with one of the batteries. Unless you look on the front panel and you can see the red light flashing. But this light is so tiny nobody actually notices that. And if you had only one battery with a JK-BMS connected and this battery turned off because of an over temperature alarm, obviously the whole system shut down then, the BMS turned off, and then you also got an alarm in your inverter or in the Victron system. But with multiple batteries, you were totally unaware that something has happened. And the problem here is that the JK-BMS has only one level of alarm, which is also the protection. Yeah, as soon as you have an over voltage protection, 3.65 volts, it sends an alarm and it goes into protection mode at the same time. And the trick here is to not send an alarm or protection status to your inverter, but a warning. Yeah, there is warning, there is alarm, and there's protection. And obviously if you have these 3 batteries as we have right now here, and one of the batteries has an over temperature protection, it sends this information to the master BMS as before, and the master BMS issues a warning to your inverter and to the Victron system. So let's have a quick look how this looks like. I'm logged into the remote console of this bat calibration center. We go to the JK-BMS down here. And obviously we can see the voltages and the amps going in for all 3 batteries. There the pull fence system is still shaded, so it's only 1.4 amps or something. And here under details, we've got our 3 batteries online. They report the overall capacity of 864 ampere hours, and we have 353 ampere hours available at the moment, depending on the state of charge of our battery. So perfect. And while we are in here, you can also see there is another fix that it shows the highest and lowest voltage cell as well as the highest and lowest temperature cell, but we didn't know in which module, in which battery this actually is. Yeah, it always showed the information only for the master BMS, but now we've got the information module 0, which is our master, slave 1, and there's also a slave 2, which is not showing up at the moment because the lowest and highest temperature and cell voltages are occurring only in these 2 batteries. Yeah. Slave number 1, cell number 11 is our lowest cell of all the 3 battery banks now. If you have 5 or 6 of these batteries, you can really see if it's the same cell over and over again, which is your lowest voltage cell. So you can identify issues with your stack of batteries early. So it gives you all the information in here now. Very good. Let me check. We've got all temperatures are under 19 degrees. Okay. Under temperature protection, yeah. So we set this one here to 19 degrees and the recovery to 20, because recovery needs to be above the protection, yeah. So we click on OK here and on OK here. And because all the temperature sensors are under 19 degrees, we've got an under temperature protection. Click here, and we should see this here in a second. Bang, protection, charge, under temperature. And you can see here in the top left-hand corner, charge MOSFETs are turned off. So this battery is actually not taking any charge anymore because the battery is so cold. Yeah. But here, as you can see, we are still taking charge because 2 of the 3 modules are still taking charge. They are still connected, they haven't turned off, they have no issues with temperature at the moment. So if you go into details, we can actually see that now. We've got 3 batteries still online, but one of them has blocked charge. Yeah. And if we go into alarms, we can now see that we have a low temperature warning. It is not an alarm, it is a warning. And I think there is a second one for the low charge temperature as well. This is just how Victron does it. There's a low temperature and a low charge temperature. So you've got 2 warnings. And you probably could see on my mobile phone here as well that we have a problem, Victron VRM, the SPED calibration center. So as you can see, you already get notified now on the mobile phone that there is an issue with your battery. The system is still working, it is charging, discharging, everything is fine. We've got a reduced charging current reported to the inverter now because one battery has stopped charging. So, and if we have a look at the Victron VRM, we can see here at the top we've got 2 active alarms. Battery monitor, JK Inverter BMS, low battery temperature alarm, warning it says, right? Warning. So now the system makes the user aware that there is something wrong with your system. As you can see, it is still charging, right? And it keeps continue charging as long as one battery is still not in any protection or warning state. But it notifies you now in the VRM on your mobile phone, push notifications. But here in the VRM, you need to change a setting if you haven't already done this to get the push notifications onto your mobile phone. So obviously you need to have the VRM app installed on your mobile phone. And then you go into settings, you go into alarm rules. And here under automatic alarm monitoring, you click on this little plus and you change it from only alarms to warnings and alarms. I think as per default it sits on alarms only, but you have to change it to warnings and alarms, otherwise you don't get any notifications on your mobile phone. And when I tested the firmware yesterday, I also put the master BMS into an under temperature warning or protection, yeah? So we had the master and the slave 1 in a protection mode, and the system still kept charging because the slave number 2 was still okay and could take the energy, right? So as long as one battery is still alive and hasn't got any issues with alarms or warnings and protections, the system will still keep working, but it now informs you on the VRM and push notifications on your mobile phone, at least with the Victron system now. Okay, let me go into the mobile phone here again and change these temperature parameters again. Here. So I can set this to 5, 10. So this will clear the under temperature protection here for this BMS. I got the notification on my mobile phone right now that the battery or the BMS has recovered. And we will see this here in the VRM as well. It could take up to 1 minute until this warning there disappears. But eventually it will go away. So the next fix in this firmware is that they have identified and resolved the problem with a negative current showing in the BMS. I have never experienced this myself, but I have read about this. Some of you have complained that the current is always negative, so apparently this has been fixed now. And my friends, finally, the last point on my list, the last thing they have fixed with this firmware for now, is the ability to turn off and turn on Bluetooth now. This is a brand new feature now in this BMS here. We could not disable Bluetooth in the JK-BMS, but with the version 15.30 we now can. And I cannot thank the community here enough for their input, for their feedback, for all the information you provided. And they took the idea of one of you guys and implemented the fix now in this new firmware. Let me show you. So let's go back to our slave number 1 battery as an example. I do another search for all the JK-BMSs we have here. Here they come. And you can see there's our slave number 1. And to turn off Bluetooth now, you only have to double click the on off button. You do that and listen as well. It beeps once, yeah? Double click, it beeps. So if I do a refresh of my JK-BMSs here, you will notice that the slave number 1 is now missing. Yep, there's no Bluetooth anymore. To turn it back on, you again double click the on off button and listen. It does a double beep now, right? So if I click on search again, there's our slave number 1 again. Yeah, we can connect to it via Bluetooth. There we go, we've got a live view. You can see the balancer is actually active at the moment, balancing these cells because the settings are wrong after reset. If I turn off Bluetooth now while I'm connected, it beeps once. And if I go to settings, it doesn't do it anymore. So there's the Bluetooth icon only. I cannot navigate. The Bluetooth connection is lost. So going back into the list, search, no slave number 1 anymore. Double click, double beep, and here it comes again. How good is that? And this was exactly the idea of one of you guys. And I have mentioned this in the recent video about the JK-BMS and all its problems. It is such a good solution, right? A double click on the power button now toggles Bluetooth on and off. So I really have to change my t-shirt now from red into white, you know? The hope is white. Guys, again, I cannot thank you enough for all your input in regards to the JK-BMS, and also thank you very much to JK-BMS for listening to the community once again, letting me work with one of their software engineers, working through all these issues and problems and requests. And as you can see, together we can move mountains. So a fantastic community effort. Thank you very, very much, guys. At this point, I'm not sure if I can actually publish this software here. This is not officially available on their website yet. I'll ask JK if I can put this on my Google Drive and link it down below. From what I can see right now is that this firmware version works flawlessly. It has no issues. I've got it running here for a couple of days now, and I really like this double click on this power button now and to turn off the Bluetooth. That is such a good feature now. Nobody else has, right? Nobody else. It is really an outstanding feature. And guys, thank you so much for almost 94,000, hang on, 985 we are. So, thank you so much for almost 94,000 subscribers. This is supposed to be a 9, I've got only one 9 at the moment. I probably should print another couple of 9s because at some stage we need a 9999999. Thank you so much and welcome to all these new subscribers here. Incredible. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your incredible support here on this channel. There are wonderful and beautiful people out there who are donating, buying me a beer, becoming a channel member, donating on a regular basis. leaving nice, kind and very, very helpful comments here. Can only repeat myself, this is one of the best communities on YouTube. We have achieved so much, and sometimes it feels like we have just begun, right? Guys, until the next video, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye-bye. Yeah, before you go, don't forget about the Goble Power SR1 special sale, free shipping worldwide for this incredible battery. I think for $2,400 US, you're getting this metal case and the BMS and all the cells and everything, ready-built battery, incredible price. I don't think do-it-yourself is cheaper anymore with such a price, right? So get yourself in as long as you can. Order as many as you want with free shipping. That is insane.